Cool. So game one going over to Andy. Probably feeling pretty confident, knowing that this matchup is pretty tough. Still got to try and win out one more.
Still
He's
50
probably going to
minutes
be
on the clock.
yeah, more
Enough
than
time to
enough
get
time.
out 2 more games.
So we do find these God of War games do go quite. There's a lot of action plays in God of War deck. Yeah, let's hope they can get a game two done. Calvin's obviously going to have to try and quick game push into game three.
Yeah,
Ideally
but
wants to get a
also
better
we do
start.
still have turns. You know, if
Yeah.
we can make at least some progress in game 3, might be enough time to finish it up in turns.
So just for the viewers here, and I know there was a lot of discussion about it last week, Joburg SP, what is the rulings here when it... So
Cool. So yeah, and top 8, we have to have a winner, right, for top card. So when time is called, we will play the standard 3 turns as per normal. So whoever's turn it is when time is called is turn 0, then the opponent will be 1, that person will be 2, and the opponent will be 3 again. And at that point, that is where that game ends. If there's only been one game so far, then the person that won game 1 without game 2 being resolved will win the set. If it's currently 1 apiece, right, and that game isn't resolved, it goes down to the person who's taken the most prize cards at that time. At the time that it ends, if both players have taken the same number of prize cards, then the next player to take a prize card will win. And if in time it goes to, if player 1 won the first game and player 2 wins in time of game 2, and it's a tie at the time is called, then the players will play a sudden death to basically get a winner for game 3. So we can see at least Andy has a good setup going into this double buddy puffin.
yeah, that's the play you want to see opening up. Double buddy puffin.
Also access to Chivalry Chill. 2 Frigibaxes.
I think at this point, all he's missing is that Greninja for that perfect one
for
setup.
sure. Also, shout out to that Heart Gold Soul Silver energy I see there.
Yeah. Nice. So, Calvin losing game 1, having the option to choose whether to first or second, opting to go second. Now, in your opinion, is this the best move going against Chen Pao?
So Chen Pao always wants to go first, right?
Yeah,
They
100%.
allows him to set up and everything. God of War actually barely wants to go second. Reason being, if you have an Arven, like we talked about in the previous game, it's sort of a one card combo into getting your evolution set up into your Curlias. Now, without having enough setup, if you don't have any buddy puffins or whatever the case is, or you don't have the energy, then you're still a bit of a downside. You really want to be able to have energy, buddy puffin, TM evolution turn one, right?
Ideally, in the perfect.
Yeah. If you have one of either the buddy puffin or the energy, then you can use Arven to get the other piece from that combo. And you'll have at least 2 Raltses that would be Curlias at the end of your turn. And at that point, you can probably sacrifice your active getting knocked out. Yeah. Luckily, Calvin did have the Mana Feast, so if he is able to get out 2 Curlias, they're probably safe. Obviously, there's always a canceling Cologne play that's an option, but it would require a fair number of pieces to get out, right?
Yeah, and I think Calvin realizing the major impact that Greninja had on that previous game and instantly slamming down that Mana
yeah.
knowing that
he's got the deck search.
Yeah, got to protect those rolls. Just going through his prize checking this time, make exactly prize cards. Always a great thing to do, understanding what's in your prize cards, what's in your deck, what are your options, especially in these matchups, really critical.
Making
Just
sure
knowing
you
what
don't
players you
retreat
got.
into a Chen Pao that doesn't find energy because they're both prized.
I think at this point we are just badgering Romano.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay. So shuffling up there is interesting. I wonder if he is going for the play first, right? Trying to see if looks like he picks up an energy and a Drifloon there, possibly.
yeah.
Hoping he has something in his hand to try and get out those rolls. Hopefully, he has a Arvin would be great. Can grab the Buddy Puffin and TM Evolution.
Do see an Earthen Vessel in hand as well. Could
Yeah.
have maybe thinned out a couple more cards.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's an Arvin. Might just be a boss's orders.
Not look great at the moment. Not a position you want to be in.
Is that a Bravery Charm?
Passing over. Jeez. Okay, so no rolls this turn, which does put him behind the turn. Double barrel.
Great setup from Andy's
That's
side.
huge. Yeah, much better. Kelvin probably not too confident at the didn't have a great game 2 going in. Able to get the Manaphy down, no rolls. Andy going for that size of drawing one card. I think at this point Andy's probably looking for Irida, but does definitely have time on his hands. Rolls down
for
on the side. He's able to really take his time and look for the cards.
So you see an Ultra Ball, maybe even just thinning down the hand, maybe grabbing back Excalibur.
Yeah.
Or another Pokemon to bench. See, grab the Iron Hands.
Not a bad play.
I mean, the Iron Bundle, yeah.
Definitely does thin down, gives an opportunity to definitely take a one prize.
Yeah, and yeah, as you said, without even needing to evolve into Excalibur, you can still get yourself a one prize.
Yeah, probably going to see that Drifloon being taken out. Not major.
Definitely want to save that Manaphy.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to give up the Drifloon here. That's size 3. Hope. Doesn't look like okay. Finds the Irida. You know, when you have it, you have it.
Right. The power of having double the barrel setup, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Use
and I think
first one early, and then second one, just draw into what you need, right?
Yeah, and definitely, I think Chen Pao's ideal setup once you have the barrel. So many cards in the deck to help you thin down with the ultra. Well, things to help you clear that hand out, use the barrel and dash size it, get that hand back up. So seeing the Greninja and the Rare Candy here, we can assume that there's a Excalibur already in hand for Andy.
Yeah, most likely. You know, something else also, the barrel can combo off really well into a Cypher Maniac if you have
great new card from
energies there. I mean, less cards in hand for you to draw up. So
grabbing two water energies there, or power. So really a dominating for Andy here. Board looks great. Gonna see that Excalibur come down. Okay, so still no Excalibur? Did he not?
Might not need it this turn. You know, you can still take the knockout with the energies on.
Do you risk it though, knowing that they could possibly get an Iono? Very interesting, because if Kelvin decides to Iono or has an Iono, and I do see some supporter in the hand there, just could be an Iono.
Could also be, you know, have enough draw support. Haven't seen too many Iridas yet. Maybe confident enough that there's an opportunity to get it up next turn.
I definitely want to have that backscope. There's the Iona. So we do see Iona. So Going
So-
down to 5 cards, I mean, there is a lot of power on the side. So, but again, I think you probably would have wanted to guarantee that Baxcalibur, even if it's just one. We know there's no threats on Calvin's side of the board. Still trying to set up. Very interesting play.
Bloody Puffins, find a couple Rolters.
So Calvin definitely behind you, able to get those rolls down. Nice thing about God of War deck, it is a one prize deck and one of the greatest comeback decks in the meta at the No hope lost for Calvin yet.
Yep, definitely enough time in this game to still launch a comeback. Possibly 2 prize Excaliburs.
Could be. If that's the case, it could be.
Or might be just low on candies and maybe not want to walk into a TM Devo with not knowing if you can set up another one, right?
I don't know. Even in the case of low rare candy, I mean, at that point, if you're worried about this, set up a Chen Pao, maybe drop a couple in on a Ranger. Give yourself some opportunities to try and do something. Even just power up the Chen Pao as much as possible. I mean, there's no big Pokemon on Calvin's side, so not really needing to discard much. So it would be quite interesting if our 2 Baxcalibur prized. That could be trouble for Andy. Because at this point, he's got no energy on the board, so it's manual attachment. He can only do 1 attack. So, very good chance that he doesn't take a knockout next turn. Giving Calvin some time to try and build up a board.
I think Calvin just deciding. I mean, look at the hand that he got after the Iono, whether there's any other players. And just to pass over.
Yeah.
So he would have wanted to find a TM evolution. He could have evolved up those Rolters.
Yeah.
But at least does have the Manaphy that can,
Rainbow Ray Hirida. I don't know about you, but I can't stand Rainbow.
They will leave the
Not
format
my favorite
expectation. Yeah, we do see the Irida grabbing the rare candy and Baxcalibur.
So luckily going into that Irida, so we do have the Baxcalibur rare candy. So very interesting not to choose to evolve at last turn.
There is a chance one of those cards came off the prizes. There was a prize taken last turn.
That is true as well.
All the hypotheticals we can make by not knowing what their prizes were.
Yeah, they would prizes.
Looks like an Ultra Ball.
So ideally, Andy really looking for the cancelling clone play this turn. Able to bring up that be possibly with a prime catcher. A lot of cards needed, but having Super Barrel on the board does help. Perfect turn probably here would be the cancelling clone on Manaphy. Take out 2 rolls, really just putting Calvin.
You see one going
Attachment
to the
there.
I think even just taking out the Greninja is not the worst.
Limiting that draw
using
power.
it for your draw, and again he doesn't have Curlias yet, so even less.
First industrial sizes for 2. At this point, just trying to dig through, thin his deck out. Really just have access to resources.
Unsealed cards, another couple being drawn. Just checking how many cards in hand.
Yeah, don't think there's much Andy can do about that, but obviously just looking for the most optimal player, trying to decide what are the chances of Calvin having the Curlias for next turn.
Yeah, maybe the reason was deciding whether or not it was worth it to play down the Pokestop, because as much as no other deck wants to use it, it is still always an out to cards for you to set up, right?
Yeah, seeing the Ultra Ball and the Super Rod there. Just deciding to pass. Okay, so not even taking a prize this turn.
maybe not finding the superior energy retrieval needed.
Possibly, yeah.
Quite a few energies.
Still
in
had
the
one more
stockpile.
barrel there and had an Ultra Ball. Maybe just too many resources in that hand not rid of. So knowing he's in a safe position, Calvin still has a turn or two before he can actually start taking prizes. So maybe Andy just deciding, let me just take a seat back, build my board even more, be in a safe position. Not overextend. We see a lot of players nowadays trying to extend their plays, trying to go over, they hit that prize race, but in the end, just losing so many valuable resources. Andy deciding rather to keep it safe, keep those resources, wait for the perfect turn to capitalize on that board state. Although his board state is...
Yeah. So we see a couple more cards drawn, probably concealed cards. Calvin probably ideally looking to get out 2 Curlias this turn. That would be ideal.
Another Buddy Puff in there, maybe getting some Ralts, probably another Ralts, maybe Floon, Dreamtail.
Even the Mimikyu may not be a bad idea, just something that can maybe buy a turn, or Drifloon as an attacker for next turn.
Yeah. So ideally, Calvin wants to find this TM evolution turn.
Correct. And with 3 rolls, even if you can find 1 Curlia and evolve up, you could still even evolve the other 2 through a TM evolution.
Yeah. Curlia just providing such great draw power.
If you have Curlias. Yeah.
You have
I've run into the issue of not having Curlias last week.
So we know Calvin did price check, so at this point, we can hope he has all his Curlias.
Just playing a Super Rod, recovering Gardevoir and a Drifloon. Always good to have your backup attackers while you can.
So there's always a question. I mean, we can assume Calvin plays 2 Super Rods in the deck, and there's always a question as to when is a good time to play a Super Rod. That is quite a valuable resource for Calvin, trying to get those Floons back as they've been taken out. Recycling those attackers. So using the Super Rod quite early puts him down to 1 Super Rod left.
I think maybe also because was looking to play that Iono, maybe just wanting to get it out the hand. You're going to need that Drifloon and the Gardevoir at some point. So before sending your hand away, just being able to play it and have access.
Yeah, it could be that he knows his 1 Gardevoir prized as well, so needing that other Gardevoir back in the deck. I understand. I think the deck had 2 Gardevoir.
Yes.
So maybe the 1 Gardevoir prized, and before Ione decided to put that back in the deck. Doesn't want to run into an issue later where he doesn't have that energy accept.
Yeah. And here's something, important, if you price check, whether or not Heavy Ball's useful. If Heavy Ball's not useful, then you can discard it safely to an Ultra Ball, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Looks like he's actually favoring keeping the Heavy Ball at this point. Discarding a Sidekick and a Screamtail.
Yeah, getting that first Curlia out, throwing that Screamtail away. I like Screamtail. I think in this matchup it does do well as well.
Yep.
Taking out that lone Baxcalibur. Yeah.
Might just be best of the worst. Still also getting rid of that Drifloon.
So we do see the soon Heavy Ball appearing there. So
just refinementing it away. Looks like he drew into the Arven. Is a bit late this turn to try and play the Arven. Having used Iono for turn. At the very least, there is 1 Curlia on the board. If the Curlia can live through the turn, that means there's an out to Gardevoir EX next turn.
Yeah, and we can definitely see Calvin start to prizes.
So Andy will definitely look to try and target down that lone Curlia, right?
All right, Andy finally able to check those prizes out, see what's in there. I think at this point, basically just having a look, seeing what's inside there. Not necessarily needing to grab anything.
Also, just maybe being able to get rid of a card in hand so that you can Industrious Incisors for 1 more card, right? Just burning the Heavy Ball.
definitely a lot of positive on that. So we do
Thanks,
see a
you
superior.
got a Frigibax and a second Chenpao, or another Chenpao.
So at the very least, yeah, you know, Andy is taking another prize, whether it be on that Radiant Greninja, which is not bad. Obviously limiting Calvin's draw power there. Greninja able to dump energies in the discard pile. So not bad one prize to take. And you're obviously wanting to go for that that Curlier as well. Forcing out Calvin to have the rare candy God of War if need be. So just creating a lot more steps for Calvin.
Yeah, and also Andy just using that Chivalry Trill, not taking anything out, but just being able to shuffle up the deck after his hand was put to the bottom. Yeah, so, you know, maybe he had a couple cards he might have wanted soon, so just shuffling it up may now be able to draw into it a bit more. Sure will attach a lot of the energies in hand, so be able to use the barrels to draw a few more cards. There's always a question here in sequencing. Do you keep a card for conceal cards? When do you conceal cards over industrious incisors? Are we just attaching all the energies?
Yeah, definitely. I think Chien-Pao being one of those decks that sequencing is really important. A lot of players tend to think that power straightforward, get out your barrels, get out your Baxcaliburs, and attack whatever's in the active. But there is a lot of sequence behind Chien-Pao to make those optimal plays. So attaching to the Greninja, yeah, I wonder if Andy's looking for that Prime Catcher Cologne play. We do see
the Cypher Maniac, yeah, and again,
yeah,
you know, even if
possibly
there's not enough cards in hand to draw with the barrel, even if there's no energy to conceal cards, Pokestop can guarantee the top two cards if they're both items.
Yeah,
which is such a good combo, you know.
Having that Radiant Greninja, the barrel, Pokestop, he's almost guaranteed to hit any two cards. So it'll be interesting to look at the play he goes. Do you think he's possibly going to go for that canceling Cologne Prime Catcher play? Get out that that Curlier. Ralts really puts Calvin in a position he has to try and find the candy.
Yep, so
see another attachment here.
And yeah, with 3 cards in hand, we'll draw into the 2 cards from the Cypher Maniac. And there's the Prime Catcher.
That Prime Catcher bringing up that mana fee. So we do see that cancel Cologne play.
Followed by canceling Cologne. And yeah. Down goes Curlier, probably down goes a Ralts.
Still having access to that Pokestop, I wonder if you would have needed to use the Pokestop, maybe just card stand out a bit more.
Yeah, Andy maybe actually choosing to leave the 2 Ralts. Again, they're not yet Curliers, they can't evolve this turn, they can't attack. But by taking out the mana fee, it might line him up to do another Moonlight Shuriken on the next turn, right?
Yeah.
Or so force early Super Rod, second Super Rod, right?
Exactly. So knowing that Calvin played down that Super Rod, maybe knowing that he only has one, forcing out that Rod. Which is a great play. Knowing that there's no more resources that can go back into the deck now. So, you know, Calvin having to make use of what he has.
And that's why it's important to get back the Screamtail now, because you won't be able to get it again.
Yeah.
Even if you might want to have another Ralts, having that Screamtail might just be that much better, right? Also looking like opting like not putting another Curlier into the deck. You know, if you know you don't have enough Raltses, then maybe you don't have enough reasons to get more Curliers.
Yeah.
Puffin coming down. Most likely a Buddy Puffin or Nest Ball, just some means of getting this mana fee back.
Yeah.
And then the evolution will be able to turn the 2 benched Raltses into Curliers going into the next turn.
So Andy down to 3 prizes at this rate, just really looking dominant game. It's going to take quite a bit for Calvin to try and pull back. Not the end, though. Still able to, try and get something stuck in the active. Although it makes it so much tougher now having two barrel field. Can't even Iona and hope that opponent doesn't draw in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I've still saved, Andy still saved a decent number of resources. Just have those prepared. If any disruption comes along, might have ways to then get out of it.
Yep. I think Andy is in such a great position at the moment. Really does, can take things slow. Doesn't need to overextend. Make sure that he has all the cards. As long as he's taking a prize every turn, there shouldn't be any closing out this game.
Yeah, so you see Retreat of the Greninja. Chen Pao with one more energy can take out Calvin's Greninja. I do think it might have had to previously. Well, with the superior energy retrieval, definitely guaranteed the energy is needed to attack this turn.
Yeah, in this game, Andy not even having to look for that Iron Hands, capitalize on those two prizes. Really just been in a great entire game.
Even repowering up the Greninja, that's threatening, right?
I think at this point, probably just spreading out the energy a bit, just in case there's some sort of play next turn. Leaving opportunity. I don't think there is another canceling clones that those bench Pokemon are protected. So at this point, probably just spreading out the energy, not wanting to put everything out. Knowing that next turn that Chen Pao may not be there.
Who knows? Maybe there'll be a Silene for a second canceling clone.
Yeah. One thing Calvin has to be worried about at this point is that taking out this Chen Pao with a Drifloon is possible, but there is a possibility Andy comes back with Iron Hands and just finishes up the game by taking prizes of weak Drifloon. Very tough, Calvin. Yeah.
If that's your only play, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to do what you can and see how the cards unfold. And especially with Andy getting that second Baxcalibur out last turn, a Screamtail play on a lone Baxcalibur can't even, guarantee you much because there's still a backup ready to go.
Yeah.
I do think that Screamtail was drawn for turn. Still, Calvin has 2 refinements on the field, can draw a few more cards. Still 1 Ralts that can evolve into a Curlia for an extra refinement.
Yeah. So at this point, looking at the board states at the moment, there's an Arven. Do you think we possibly see the TMF de-evolution? There we go. So we do see the de-evolution. So
yep. Why not,
at this point, maybe putting up a Gardevoir in the active, able to soak up some damage from that Chen Pao, because we do see you in attached ninjas. Know that there is a attack. So maybe putting up a Gardevoir in the active, running that Devo, and just saying to Andy, you know what, you've got 1 more rare can left. You need to find that before you can actually start doing it.
Yeah. Even just, I guess it's same with the 1 prizer, right? Maybe if you put a 1 prize up, it's the same number of energies to kill a full Gardevoir as it is to get an Iron Hands, right? So maybe they just don't have it that way as well.
Yeah, I think maybe putting up the Gardevoir in the active is better. Those 2 energies plus a manual attachment from hand definitely takes out any 1 prize here. Putting Andy down just to 1 prize left, which always makes it threatening. We see the Silene come down, the counter catcher. It definitely makes it harder. I think Calvin
would find the Gardevoir.
Yeah, you need
to. Something else, like what we saw last game, even if you just find like a Mimikyu or a Fluttermane, some disruptive Pokemon that can go in the active.
Definitely,
might not
knowing
be
that we've
bad
already spent that
behind.
cancer clone definitely could be the play as well. So maybe digging for either a Gardevoir or that Mimikyu. Okay, now the Curlier come down.
We do see a Gardevoir in hand, so you can evolve up one of those Curliers that were evolved last turn with the TM Evo. Might just consider against putting a 2-prizer in play and just gonna use this Drifloon to... Could still draw one more card. Maybe he feels the few cards in hand is too important to discard with the refinement, right?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, he's just saying to Andy now, look, you need to find that last red candy.
And at this point, right, one rare candy comes down, Andy will have to get enough energies on the field to be able to play the game out. Because if Calvert can just scream tail snipe or boss kill, counter catcher kill the lone Baxcalibur that's left, then Andy will be out of resources until a potential Silene or means to getting up another Baxcalibur.
Yeah, so definitely needs to spread out that energy, make that he can get as much down this turn as possible and take a 1-prize. Going through his deck, they're not looking too thick, so there's not many cards left. Probably just checking what resources he has. Wondering, hopefully that Ray Candy is in there and it's not in his prizes. Still is able to take 1 prize this turn with a manual attachment, so we'll definitely see Andy going down to 1 prize after.
There's any energies on this Chien-Pao currently?
No energies, only got 2 on the rating.
Yes, so how are we manually attaching to knockout? The attack still needs 2 energies.
Yeah, that is actually very true.
Even if you might.
So we do still need energies to attack, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you might still discard one.
There's the Silene.
Ooh, some very important dice rolls.
1 head. Okay. 1 head.
1 head. So
is able to put 1 card back on top of his deck.
Probably rare candy.
We'll see the rare candy.
Super Rod can still find Baxcaliburs, but nothing else can find more rare candies, right?
So we know the Baxcalibur is in his hand. Basically, just needs that rare candy.
Oh,
so
yes.
Pokestop's definitely going to find the rare candy. Let's see what else Pokestop get off.
Loses an Irida and I think another Pokestop.
Another Pokestop. So not bad. So at least we've got that Baxcalibur. Now, like you said, Andy needs to be able to guarantee that he gets those energies powered on all these Pokemon in case Calvin is able to Scream Tail that lone Baxcalibur.
At this point, because he reused a rare candy, there is still one somewhere.
Yeah.
Either in the prize cards or the deck. Hiding his deck from us, unfortunately.
Yeah. So going with the Silene play, you would think that the last rare candy is most likely prize.
Could just be a means of
guaranteeing it.
Hold.
Yeah.
If you had hit if you had hit 2 cards with the 2 heads with the Silene, you guarantee yourself the canceling clone, right? Or the prime catcher. So maybe that could also be a reason why to go for the Silene first.
Yeah.
Because you can bring back those resources from your discard, and it might have been a better play for this turn, depending how it went.
Again, Calvin's still sitting 6 prizes, Andy on 2. Andy's in a really great position. Yeah, just take it slow. Doesn't need to overextend. Playing the Super Rod there, probably going to put back. At this point, I don't even think you need to put back the Iron Hands.
I think some energy would be useful.
Yeah, definitely.
We did see a decent number. I think 3 superior
opting to put back the Iron Hands, which is interesting. I think at this point, you're pretty set on just taking 2-1 prizes. Good. But probably would have liked to see maybe putting back 3 energies. you don't always have access to those Perry energy, guaranteeing that you're able to Chivalry Trill, draw into them is always great. Having the Iron Hands there is just really a dead card. Not great.
That's just a pass. I think maybe looking for that superior energy retrieval or something to be able to attack. And yeah, Calvin immediately slaps down Screamtail. This Excalibur was evolved and not used. So this could be a way out for Calvin, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That candy was used up. Excalibur's on the field. Counter catch up the barrel. Best play. Something stuck. And then you go for a Screamtail knockout on the Excalibur. There might still be an out for Andy. We're not too sure whether he has the last rare candy or whether it is in one of the 2 prize cards left. I'm sure if he doesn't have it, then this will probably just be, maybe go to game 3. I think if it does go to game 3, Chien-Pao's probably favored. As we've seen, Gardevoir does take a bit of time to set up.
Yeah.
But
so,
yep.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Andy to come back if we know that that's candy prized. You probably find he may just rip it up. Screamtail takes that Excalibur. Do.
Yes.
You know the Saline's been used. This is great about Guardy here. It's able to come back, able to put you in a position where you need so many resources to make a play. And it's just got that power to attack the bench as well. Seeing that Hero's Cape, putting that Screamtail up to 190, I think it is.
Yeah. It's actually not necessary for the...
Yep, because it does 20 times the amount of damage count.
However, it might just be... If I put 80 damage on me with the cape, your Greninja with 2 energy cannot knock me out next turn, right?
Yeah.
So that's one more out that you're going to need to get to be able to try and pull this off. As well as adding a Bravery Charm to the Drafoon, just getting it down while you have it in your hand, get it out the deck, evolving up to the Gardevoir, and finally being able to use Psychic Embrace, accelerating Psychic energies from your discard pile to your Psychic Pokemon.
Yeah, 20 damage per energy attached, up to 80 damage. Screamtail currently hitting for 100. And what makes it great as well is as he's gone and trapped the barrel in the active spot. So, and we know that Andy doesn't play any, well, we assume Andy doesn't play any switching cards. With that Prime Catcher gone, Saline gone, that barrel is stuck.
Can confirm there are none. And unlike some of the Charizard decks we've seen, there's no, Professor Turo scenario.
Yeah. So that barrel sitting tight on that axis.
It basically needs to hit a Excalibur, and it has to be this turn.
Yeah.
If you don't, then the Screamtail can just pick off that Frigibax that's currently on the bench,
So Andy, looking at the amount of cards, probably can go through his entire deck turn. But we do have the rare candy. Okay. All right. So maybe that was, that 500 IQ play, putting the hands back in, knowing he probably has one superior left. Now it's just a matter of, can he get that the barrel out of the active, plus have the Iron Hands down for that surprise.
You would need 6 energies, and superior energy retrieval only gets you 2.
Yeah.
Only gets you 4, so you'd still need 2 more, right?
We do know that he put 2 energies back into the deck with Super Rod. So has to sequence this correctly to be able to draw those 2 energies plus Perry energy retrieval.
So as we see there, play the first nest ball, fail the first nest ball, play the second one just to thin the hand out a bit.
Yeah.
So cannot use Pokestop.
Yeah, got to be careful, because if he throws away those 2 energies, he's not going to be able to pull off the
We'll have to try and draw all the cards into deck first, right?
So it does look like he only has 2 cards in his hand. So that industrial size is going to put him up, be able to 3 cards. Now, does he draw the 2 energies that he Because if
So
he
that's
draws 3 dead cards that he can't discard, okay, choosing to put, now this is interesting, putting more cards back in the deck, opting to put more energies back in.
2, 3. Okay, so might leave one more energy in the deck. I mean, in the discard pile. Let him have a maximize 4.
Yeah.
Maybe put the 2 in the deck.
So putting 2 in, probably going to go for the industrial sizes, draw 4. Whatever energies he does draw, he does have the ability to attach them, thin out his hand more, and then go for another industrial sizes. So very good chance here that he does see all the cards in his deck and is able to hopefully get that superior.
Yep. With that extra energy as well, I think the reason for that is you give yourself an energy to conceal cards, and once you've concealed cards, you will end up with those 4 energies.
Yeah. So
Given
seeing
this
two
with the
of the
retreat.
energies there. Does he have the superior in hand? That's
So
all
you
he needs
ideally,
to pull back. Looks like he does have it. Yeah, there we
there
go.
it is.
Superior energy. Able to take those last 2 prizes there.
And yeah,
Really finishing up that game
well
great.
played. That was Grayscale holding the Excalibur, knowing he might go down. If Calvin was able to combo out an Iono, it might have been a bit different. But
Yeah.
at that time, he still needed a couple cards. Went for the Oven, got the cape. Without the cape, he wouldn't have had the ability to tank a hit from Greninja or something, right?
Yeah.
So
Given this information, I think as players, we always need to try and make the most optimal turn that we can make it, even given, scenario, what the board state looks like. Always try and make those options. So yeah, Calvin really trying to put himself in a position there, buy himself a few turns. I think he was hoping that that last rare candy was prized, which would have really been beneficial for him. But yeah, Andy just pulling it out and dropping, really fooling us as well as Calvin.
no, great play.
Yeah.
Didn't exhaust all the candies again. Used that Silene, got back that one candy that was quite pivotal for setting up a Excalibur that got Screamtailed, but then you knew you had one backup one for your closing, right?
Yeah, really well played from.
Cool. So with that, I think we can take a break. We'll wait for the rest of the top 8 games to close out and be back for top 4.